I am pretty happy with the way this turned out. I mean, I did not think that all of these seeds were gonna come up. I want to give you guys a little bit of a view of how my garden is coming along. I started on March 24th. So I have 2 raised beds. They are pretty much humongous. They're 8 by 4 by 2. So I've got 64 feet of cubic space in each one. Don't mind these little tarps here. I have them because I don't want my plants to get too much water, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So this is my northernmost garden bed, and in this bed I'm growing corn, green beans, and marigolds. These are actually for pest control. Corn, green beans, and squash are all great companion plants to grow together, so they help each other grow better actually. But the only thing is that I do not like squash. So I said, you know what, I'll just do corn and green beans. I love eating elote. I love eating fresh green beans, so I figured why not. So yeah, I've got all 3 of these growing here. I've got everything pretty much spaced out so that when I want to thin these crops, I can do that easily. I planted the corn 3 to a hole so that when they grow up, I can pretty much thin the ones that aren't growing well and just keep the ones that are doing pretty good. So this pretty much ensures that I actually get a crop in the first place. I thought, okay, if I plant 3 corn seeds to a hole, maybe one of the seeds will come up. Did not expect 3. Did not expect that after all. So I am really impressed with this. One thing I will say is that I faced a lot of challenges with this bed in particular. I planted my crops pretty much on time, like 2 weeks after the last frost date here. I live in Dallas, Texas, so that's about like zone 8A, 8B. And so our last frost date historically is March 12th. Well, I planted on March 24th and I'm thinking, okay, that's plenty of time. You know, I am good to go. No. I actually filmed another mistakes video, y'all, where I talk about all of this, but basically there was a cold snap that doesn't typically happen. And it was a week of like 40-degree weather and like this heavy rain. I mean, 7 days of it. So I actually planted all of this stuff on the 24th and I'm like, dang, none of my stuff is coming up. And it was just too cold, y'all. It's way too cold. So I actually replanted a second time, and they say third time's the charm, but for me, second time was the charm. So everything came up beautifully. I mean, not a single seed did not come up in this bed, and so I am completely thankful. Now, one thing I want to mention about these green bean plants is that they are some little divas. They really are. I actually was shocked and surprised at how difficult it was for me to grow green beans. These plants are really sensitive to both warmth and moisture. So when we had that cold snap at 40 degrees, yeah, these seeds were not coming up. And I was doing some more research and basically found out that these seeds will not come up if they're soggy. And so that 7 days of just getting rain was not good for them. Also, I realized that some of the seeds probably rotted, which is why they didn't come up. So if they get too much water, I heard that the seeds will get like wrinkly. Like if you stay in the bathtub too long and your fingertips start getting pruny, that's exactly what happens to these seeds. And so, yeah, first time around, y'all, I didn't get anything, but I mean, just look at it now, like every single thing sprouted. I am, I am so proud of myself, so proud of myself. So moving right along, so we got this second bed. Now the only thing I have in this bed is some tomato starts. So I did not grow these from seed, of course. And to be honest, y'all, this has been the hardest thing for me to grow. Like, just, I can't believe how hard it's been. When I first got my tomato starts, it was right before that cold snap that I mentioned. So I planted these, and I want to say within 4 or 5 days, they died. So I was really sad about that, but I tried again. I did a little bit of more research, and what I realized is that for these to grow correctly, I need to do so many different things. So when I put these in the ground, actually, what I needed to do was go ahead and give them some fertilizer. That's not something I did the first time. So when I planted these starts, I went ahead and did that. I gave them the fish emulsion, and it seems to be working okay. I haven't given them too much of a treatment because this soil is really rich. If you guys watch my first video, which was how to fill a raised bed, I actually walk you through the process of how I got this bulk soil, the compost that's in it, and all the nutrients. So I knew the soil was rich. I just didn't understand what I was doing wrong in terms of getting these tomato starts to, well, not die. So the leaves were turning yellow and everything. I realized that I actually need to prune the tomato starts a lot, like a lot. So yesterday I went in and I just pruned off all of the yellow leaves. I pruned off all of the diseased ones that were close to the soil. Apparently, when those yellow, brown, disease-looking leaves are close to the soil, the disease can travel up the leaf, up the stem, to the stalk, and infect the rest of the plant. So, yeah, I just went ahead and pruned those off. The interesting thing is that I was watching some videos, and some people say they also prune these off, which is called the suckers. And this will allow the plant to focus even more on developing actual fruit and not just growing more leaves. Now, I decided to keep mine on because in that same video, the gardener mentioned that you can take these off and you can put them in water and let them create roots. And then once that happens, you can plant this and actually get a new tomato plant. So for me, I think that's what I want to do, just knowing that it took me so long to even get these plants to look healthy like this. I'm like, oh, I don't want to take any chances. If there's a way that I can create a new plant from this one, knowing how much of a diva these things are, oh, I'm absolutely going to do it. Right next to my tomatoes, I have some basil. Yeah, so tomatoes and basil, excellent companion plants. I'm actually even surprised that this basil came up because it took so long, y'all. I'm talking about, this is not even something that I replanted super heavy. So I'm thinking basil is an herb, and I know that most of the herbs like to be dry. They don't like soggy soil. And so I'm like, well, if it's gonna rain more, maybe it's not even worth planting it because, well, the seeds won't even germinate. But it looks like at least some of them laid dormant, especially this weird looking one. I mean, this one looks so weird to me, but I mean, it's making it, so. And honestly, I don't even know, this one looks so different from these over here. So it's like, I'm pretty sure this is basil. It just looks like it's going through some type of like, I don't know, like what is that? But yeah, I'm super proud of the basils for even coming up. So hey, whatever they want to do, I'm cool with that. Last but not least, I have a watermelon plant. Yay! Now this plant, oh my God, this plant is a survivor. So I don't know if y'all can tell. So here's a close-up. I have some bugs eating my watermelon sprout, just taking some nibbles. So definitely been spraying this with neem oil. I got a few little burn marks. I know that neem oil, if you spray it in like hot sun, it'll leave like some brown marks on your sprout. So I've been switching to spraying this mostly in the evening time to just see if that makes a difference. I am going to plant some bell pepper here in this row. I'm waiting a little bit because bell peppers like to be hot. And so currently we still have night times around like 50 degrees, 55. So I'm gonna wait until we're at 60 degrees consistently. Then I'm gonna plant the bell peppers. I'm learning, y'all, as I garden, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. I think when I first started, I just wanted to plant everything, right, all at the same time. But it just doesn't work like that. Some things need the soil to be hotter. Some things need the temperature overall to be cooler, hotter. So I've just been learning to really plan better and just make sure that I do what's right for my plants overall, right? Not just me as a gardener. Like, of course, me, I want everything to be planted and I want to grow and I want to get to my harvest, but I've been mentally training myself to slow down and just let the plants do their thing, follow their program, not mine, because they're not going to follow my program. My program is like, I plant the seeds and I want them to come up tomorrow. So obviously not going to happen. But yeah, I've been learning a different level of patience for sure. But yeah, y'all, that is my little garden. If you want to see how everything grows and comes up, make sure to subscribe and I will check you guys later.